Okay, so this is part 2 of the previous video that got cut off. I was talking about repatriation for Black people in the diaspora who want to come back to Africa, want to come back home, like myself. It's not really easy anywhere. It's not easy anywhere. Nowhere is perfect. But as for me, I'd rather be in Africa. As for me, and I will be. And I know that the universe will, guide me and connect me to other people whose intentions are pure and just want the best when it comes to living life as natural as possible, being connected to nature, just having good health and things of that sort. You know what? Speaking of health, I think herbs and all those natural things should be so easily accessible. Not a lot of people have access to herbs or even have knowledge. And the people that's having the knowledge, they are using that as a way to capitalize. And I think it's just not fair. And I think it's so wrong. Because as for someone like myself who's abroad that want to come back to Africa, who can somewhat afford some of those things, I just think about the people who cannot afford none of those things. It's really not fair. And a part of coming back to Africa in my business plans is affordable, hair care, affordable, healthy food, just giving back to the land, giving back to the community, giving back to our people. That's my prerogative. That's my goal. That's my mission. That's all. I don't want to come to Africa with a capitalist mentality like most people. That's not in my plans. It's not possible. Unfortunately, most people today have it in their mind or have this mentality of money for everything. I know we need money in this day and age. I know we need it, but money is not everything, let me tell you. And I know you're gonna have those people who's gonna say, give me money first and let me be the judge. But I ask people this question all the time: what do you have that money can't buy? Because that's most important. You having things, characteristics about yourself that money cannot buy. Money can't buy common sense. Money can't buy integrity. Money can't buy sanity. There are so many things that money can't buy. All these material things will perish. It's just material. And as for me, the pros and the cons of being in Africa, I know that I will have challenges that I don't have being in America when I'm in Africa. But for one, I'll have that peace of mind. I'll have access to better food. One that doesn't cost as much as it do here. Even if I want to cook African food here, I'm still going to pay a lot of money because of importation fees. So, they want to make their profit by selling it. When I can easily have access to all type of leaves, herbs, fruits, vegetables, everything, you know, a lot of things, many things at an affordable price. And it's not like I can't eat it every day, because one of my favorite foods and things to eat is vegetable. I love leaves. I love it so much. I don't know the name, like the native name for it. I think I forgot the name. So yeah, well, vegetable, I love it. I can eat it morning, noon, at night. But here in the States, it's costly. Even to cook it yourself, still costly. When I can just go to the market when I'm in Africa, buy a whole, I cook it myself and eat. So that's one of the cons, you know, to being in Africa, is affordable food, affordable housing. I mean, 2 months of rent or 3 months of rent. And I'm just talking about rent alone, not the other expenses, but 2 months of rent in America, that's like 1,800. That's close to 2 million naira. Did I say 2 million? It's close to 1 million, sorry. It's close to 1 million naira. You know, you can get a place in Nigeria for 2 years for 2 months rent in America. So for me, there are so many pros to being in Africa, Nigeria. One of the cons is I have to worry about being assisted all the time when I want to travel or do something. That's one of the cons that I'm gonna have to adapt to again. Or in general, I'm gonna have to adapt to that, because here in America, I'm used to doing everything on my own, driving everywhere on my own. I can just get in my car, drive, go this place, go, you know, I don't need no assistance. But in Africa, it's gonna be different, you know. If I want to, let's say, for example, when I was there before, when I wanted to go to another state, somebody would have to, like, go with me there. Or, yeah. If I'm just in Lagos, let's say I'm in Lagos, I'm going to the mainland from the island, it's kind of simple, even though I'm still going to pay some money, you know, some little money, compared to what most people would pay, like, the typical Lagosian, what they would pay would not really be as much as I would pay, because they can just take public transport. But me, I can't go places by myself like that, because I don't know how to get around. So I would have to take Bolt or Uber, which would cost more, would be more costlier than public transportation, you know, the bus and bike and things like that. I would love to take bus and bike on my own, but because of safety issues, safety concern, my accent, that's just what I have to do. So that's one of the cons of being in Africa, and one of the pros of being in America. And I think that's the only pro for me of being in America, because everything else is like, I don't want to be here. And I don't really see it as a pro per se, or a con for Africa per se, because that's where I want to be, and I'd rather be there than here. So yeah. So what else? Health. Well, when you look at the healthcare system compared to Africa and America or abroad, just some people will say the hospitals, some people will argue that the hospitals and the European medication, the Western medicine is better. But if you really look and pay attention to what these institutions and doctors and hospitals and nurses do. They put people on many medications, and for a long period of time that will kill the person faster. Yes, it will kill the person faster. That's just the truth. Compared to all the natural herbs and medications one could use to actually cure their, like, the problem that they are having. And a lot of those herbs are not easily accessible here abroad. But in Africa, they are. And they right in the backyard. Right in the backyard. And it's crazy because a lot of Africans prefer to not use what's in the bush and to go to Western medicine. And it doesn't cure nothing. It just eases the symptoms of the real issue. But those herbs get to the root of the issue. Not only does it cure the symptoms, it cures the problem, the root of the problem. Western medication doesn't do that. A lot of people capitalize on the knowledge of herbs and just anything. I see some herbalists, some people that sell herbs that are abroad, and they selling it for like expensive. So when I see that, I just be like, it's not fair, because I don't think only about myself. I'm the type of person, when I think of things, when things like inconveniences come up to me, I think about, like, dang, what about somebody else who doesn't have the resources or the financial ability to get this? That's what I think about. And it's just not fair. And honestly, my goals for being in Africa, one of my business plans is to have a natural, alkaline vegan restaurant. And also a natural hair salon. Meaning, in the hair salon, I don't want to do weaving. I don't want to do tinting of hair, dyeing of hair. I don't want to do any additives, weaving, none of that. The only thing my salon will use that you add to the hair is threading. Because there is this type of African threading. You use the thread or this one rubber. That's all we're going to use. That's all. And that's just going to be to make the style, to twist it around the hair, to protect the styling. But weave, synthetic, concolon hair, bone straights, because the things that I want to promote is who we are, identity. I want to promote true Africanness, like real Africanness, accepting yourself for who you are. And honestly, it took me a long time to learn how to love who I am. I was in a phase once in my life where I wore weaves. I would always use filters. Just, trying to be something I'm not. And it took me a long time to learn to love myself. But with knowing who I really am, it made it easier. Knowing, like, having identity made it easier for me to who I am. Accept me for who I am. Because when you start to love yourself, there's more ease in life. You accept yourself. You really ain't gotta wait on nobody to accept you. You have already accepted yourself. So I'm a what you see is what you get type of person. I'm a what you see is what you get. That's me. I think in the next video I'll talk more about health.